will be the intro to video 2. It'll be covered, split in a couple of sections, but it'll be all one same video. So I'll be covering the humerus, the radius and the ulna, the wrist and the hands, the pelvic griddle. Then we've got the femur, patella, tibia, and fibula, and then the ankle and foot. So I'll go ahead and get started on humerus, and that will be the first part of my video. So right here, it's really simple. We've got the greater tubercle, and that would be around this area. Then we've got the lesser tubercle, and that would be the area around it. So let me zoom in right here. Then we've got the olecranon fossa, and that would be right here in this area where I'm pointing at. Then we've got the medial epicondyle, and that would be on this area towards the outer part. And then the lateral epicondyle, and that would be where my thumb is at right here. Then we've got the trochleae, and that is going to be this area together itself. And that would be the humerus. And jumping right in from the humerus right into the radius and the ulna, and it'll be this area. So again, the radius would be this, and this would be considered the shaft. Then we've got the radius head, and that would be right here. Then we've got the styloid process of the radius, which would be right here. Then we've got the ulna, and that would be right here, and the olecranon, which would be right up here. Then we've got the styloid process of the ulna, which would be right here. And again, this is the radius and the ulna, and this is again the humerus. Okay, and jumping right from the humerus, the radius, and the ulna right into the wrist and the hands. And I've got some of this labeled. Well, I had some of it, but then it kind of faded out. So right here where my thumb is pointing at, well, I'm sorry. Yeah, that would be the, let's see, the scaphoid. Then number 2 right here would be the lunate. Then the triquetrium would be right here where my thumb is at. Then it didn't have it, but 4 would be the pisiform right here, and the trapezium, which would be right around this area. The trapezoid would be right here. The capitate, which would be right there. The hamate, which would be within this area. And then this would itself be considered the carpals. Then this would be the metacarpals, and these would be the phalanges. And again, this is the wrist and the hands, radius and ulna, and the humerus. Okay, and jumping right from the humerus, radius, and the ulna, the wrist and the hands, I'll move right into the pelvic griddle, and this will be this area. So we've got the iliac crest, which is right here, the sacroiliac joint, which is within this area right here, the ilium, and I'll move on this side, which would be right here, the ischium, which would be somewhere within this area, the pubis, acetibulium, which would be within this area somewhere around here, the orbitator forum, and that would be this little hole right here. You can see my finger through it right here, and the ischial tuberosity, and that would be somewhere within this area if I'm not mistaken. And again, this would be the pelvic griddle right here. Moving right along, and I like to do this just to cover my bases. So this is the humerus, radius, and the ulna, the hand, and the wrist, and the pelvic griddle, and this is kind of like a memory basis for me so I can recapture it. But we're moving right into the femur, and that would be this area. And so let's see. So the femur, because I've got it right here, this would be considered the head, which would be up here. The greater trochinator, which would be around the head. The lesser trochinator, which would be within this area right here. Then we've got the medial condyle, and that would be, if I do this side, well, I can flip this one around. The medial condyle, which would be within this area right here. And then the lateral condyle, which would be on this side right here. And this is for this one, and I'll put it right back, but it'll be like, and usually it's typically like this, and again, this is the femur. Okay, and again, that would be the humerus, radius, and the ulna, the wrist and the hands, pelvic griddle, the femur, and this would be the fibula, tibia, tibia and patella, and this would be the part I'm covering this area right now. So this would be the tibia, and this would be the anterior crest. So this would be the medial malleus, which would be on this side, the fibula, which would be right here, the lateral malleus, and this would be right here, and this would be the patella. And let me just switch my page. And the patella, and this would be the ankle and the foot that I'm covering. So this would be the tarsal bones right here. These would be the metatarsals, the phalanges, the calcaneus, which would be right here, and the talus, which would be, right here. And again, this is the skeleton.